Welcome back to Reshape Your Life. I'm your host, Jason Atkinson, and today I'm going to be going over my list of how to avoid holiday weight gain. Yes, it's the holidays once again. As of today, we have exactly 4 weeks, 28 days remaining in the year of 2025. We're coming down the home stretch, and show me or tell me in the comments how close you came to your New Year's resolution from last year. I would love to know that. So this time of year, there are so many cues in our environment to eat. We have formed as a society associations with snack foods and processed things and treats around the holidays. Okay, the thing to keep in mind is, first of all, when you add up all the holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, that is a total of 4 days. So many people let 4 days turn into 4 months of just forget it, I'll do it next year. Okay, you don't have to do that. If you're following the Reshape diet, if you are a member of this Inner Circle transformation, if you do have a trial or an active membership on the F.A.S.T Track app, you know that it's part of the weekly plan to eat certain things that might not be considered health foods or, quote, diet foods or whatever. So the dose makes the poison. And that's why I'm saying Christmas is 1 day, okay? Now, you may not restrict yourself to only 1 day of off-plan eating on a weekly basis, but let's just say when your metabolism is resilient, this is something that you can do without a whole lot of harmful impact. But the associations are there. We associate foods with all these holidays. Halloween is a candy day. Thanksgiving, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, pie. Christmas, cookies, fresh baked cookies out of the oven. What else? Cakes, party food. New Year's, party food, alcohol. Okay. This is part of our basic human physiology. We're wired from a survival perspective. We know that all these holidays take place in the fall and winter too. If you notice the pattern there, that's a time when historically we're preparing for the possibility of a food shortage in our immediate environment. And we're wired to eat as much as we possibly can whenever we have an opportunity to do it, to put on some stored energy in the form of body fat so we can get through those famines that typically happen in the winter. We're also wired to do as little as we have to in the way of energy expenditure in order to get that food. But that's a point I'll come back to in a minute. So the problem in the modern environment is most of our food is ultra processed. It's extremely high in dietary energy, extremely low in nutrients. So we walk away from it wanting more. That's the game when it comes to processed foods. So we're wired to eat. We're wired to be lazy, kind of. But the point I wanted to get at behind all of that is that there is an evolutionary perspective behind all of this. There's a reason why our holidays include so-called fattening foods and take place in the fall and winter. So something to think about. So here's a tip of some things that you can actually do. Number one tip is to stay as consistent as you can with everything else. So if you know you're going to eat some off-plan meals, or even if you know you're going to miss a workout or two because you had to go to a party, or your kids had an event at school or something like that you had to go to, keep everything else as consistent as you can. The Reshape diet or Reshape approach is an 80-20 proposition. It's not 100% absolute perfection required. You can get pretty good results with 80% stick to the plan. The other 20% doesn't really matter as much. So stay active. If you know you're going to be eating off plan, go ahead and keep doing your workouts 6 days a week, 3 to 6 days a week, combination of strength training and cardio. That's my prescription when it comes to exercise. I got up early, did an hour of low intensity cardio, just walking on the treadmill this morning before my first meal. I did have a little sip of coffee on the way down, like As a matter of fact, what I have right here in my favorite Christmas mug is a fake hot chocolate. This is a little point I'm going to come to later on. This is just a scoop of whey protein isolate, chocolate flavor, blended in coffee. And this is something I do every day. I do a little bit of light, moderate cardiovascular activity before I have my first meal. That's just a way to prioritize fat burning early in the morning. So exercise ahead of time. You can make space for the incoming carbohydrates. I've been accused of being able to eat as much junk food as I get away with because this is what I've heard people say. I'm active enough to burn it off. What's really going on is I'm making space ahead of time by eating very low carbohydrate, training or exercising on a daily basis, cardio and weight training, some intermittent fasting sometimes. All of that creates room in the muscle to store incoming carbohydrate. So when I come to your Christmas party and I eat a whole bowl of Chex Mix and you wonder where I'm putting it, that's where I'm putting it because I haven't eaten bread and pasta and potatoes and all that junk at every meal throughout the week. It's not the cookies. It's not the cake. It's not the ice cream. It's not the obvious things. It's the things that are hiding in plain sight. It's the foods that have been presented as being healthy that are not enhancing our health. Cereal, oatmeal, whole grain bread, pasta, bowl of rice, a ton of fruit, whatever it is. If it's a bunch of carbohydrate, you've got to burn that before you can burn your body fat. So just keep that incoming energy as low as you can. Eat protein so you'll be full. And exercise on a regular basis and keep the whole, grease the wheel and keep the whole thing going. It's science, but, it's not rocket science. All right, my next tip is stick to your meal schedule. Okay, I think I may have alluded to this already. One or two off-plan meals or high-carb refeed type meals during the week is not going to derail you. Stay accountable. That's something that you can do. If you're, I mentioned earlier, if you're an app member, you have access to the food journal. So you can just take photos of your meals. Let me have a look at it. I'll give you a little feedback on a regular basis. Or if you're part of the Inner Circle Transformation community right here on Facebook, you can upload your photos to the rest of the group and stay accountable that way. Okay. The simple act of stopping and taking a photo of your food before you eat it forces you to think, is this really something I want to do? Is this something I should do? So much of our eating behavior is unconscious. This is my next tip. Stay mindful. Be mindful. So much of our eating behavior is unconscious. We're just doing the same things over and over and over without really stopping or thinking about it. Being proactive instead of reactive. My diet strategies are to prevent hunger instead of waiting until you're ravenously hungry and then eating in response to hunger. So being proactive instead of reactive. That's a huge principle that you can use. If you know that you're going to go to the buffet and there's going to be stuff there that, let's just say, wouldn't be the foundation of a healthy diet, but you're going to eat some cookies or I'll tell you an example of something I did. Chocolate covered bacon. Believe it or not, someone had a chocolate fountain and they had all kinds of little things in there you could dip in the chocolate. And that was one of the things they had. Don't knock it until you've tried it. But here's what you can do. Preload with protein. You know you're going to the party. You know they're going to have a ton of food. Eat some protein before you leave. You will automatically eat less of everything else. The more protein you eat, the more you're going to be full with fewer calories. It works like magic. All right, be mindful. Preload. Okay, here's something you can do. Substitute. This is what I talked about earlier. I throw a little scoop of chocolate flavored protein powder in my coffee and made a substitute healthy version of hot cocoa. Okay. Quest, for example, they make Quest cookies, which are amazing. They're high protein, low carb. No, it's not something you would want to eat every meal, but once a day, certainly. Let's say you're decorating the Christmas tree and you get that urge to have some hot chocolate or cookies or something. A Quest cookie and a scoop of whey protein in the coffee, or warm up some ultra filtered milk and throw a scoop of chocolate flavored protein in there. Maybe this is not a perfect 10 as far as being super delicious, but maybe it's a 6 or a 7. And it satisfies that urge without putting you into an energy surplus situation where you end up storing body fat. Start looking at things on a weekly basis instead of a daily basis. Just because you ate too much today or you missed a workout today, you can course correct tomorrow. It's not an all or nothing. You don't have like a calorie counter that resets at midnight. If you mess up today, get back on track tomorrow. Like I mentioned earlier, here's what happens. Oh, it's the holidays. Okay, it's October. I'm not going to go to the gym for the next 3 months. And I'm just going to, buy a bunch of junk and go to parties, I guess, every day and just eat garbage until January. Like that seems to be the public mindset. And I really don't know why that is. We are in control. You have to take control, but that takes being mindful. You have to recognize the patterns. You have to make a plan in advance so that you don't find yourself in these situations. And if you have tempting foods in your house, get them out of your house. I've said this 1,000 times. Junk food is not something that just jumps out of the pantry and attacks us. We bring it into the house. We put ourselves in a tempting situation. And then certain times, like when there's a commercial for Nestle's Toll House cookies on the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer DVD that you've watched 9,000 times. I don't have anybody in particular in mind when I say that, but that cue is, oh yeah, I got some chocolate chip cookie dough in the freezer. Okay. Well, guess what's going to happen to that cookie dough? It's not going to be pleasant. Okay. So don't have that stuff in your house. Problem solved. Once or twice a week on the weekends in the refeed phase, you can shift over to eating a ton of carbs and some fat and whatever you want. 80-90% of the time, follow the program. Low carb, high protein, so you won't be hungry. Build a little muscle tissue so you got room to store some more energy instead of going straight into fat storage. If there's anything I can do to help you, please message me, comment below. If you watched this entire video, I really do appreciate you. Subscribe by email, reshapehealthandfitness.com. Weekly newsletter is something I'm going to be diligent about in the coming year that I have slacked on in the past. That's going to include a link to this video, a recap of everything I've done on social media. That's where I can send you promotions and coupons from show sponsors and accounts that I have, companies that I have affiliate accounts with and things like that I can't share publicly. So do that right now. Like this video. You cannot currently share this because you're only seeing this live as a member of the Reshape Your Life Inner Circle Transformation community. Once this hits YouTube, you can share it. Once this hits other Facebook and Instagram and X and Telegram and everywhere else that I am on the internet, you can share from those locations. So I appreciate you doing that. My most recent blog post that I've just finished writing here, this video is going to get uploaded to it. It has all of the resources that I've created. Did you know I've recorded over 200 YouTube videos and there's 10 years worth of podcast episodes on the internet? No, bet you didn't know that. This is the #1 health and fitness podcast that no one's ever heard of. So that's all for today. Enjoy your holidays. And until next time, stay strong and enjoy the journey.